Hello Suits fans and welcome to Common of Yours Gamecast. I'll be your host, ArmageG, and today we have yet another game from the latest beta patch for Common of Yours. This time featuring a vanilla matchup, which of course means United States versus the Wehrmacht on Langer. We got players rammstein1985 playing as the US and being located in the south of Langer, and player Insovietrussia playing as the Wehrmacht and being located in the north. So without further ado, let's go right into the game. We're past the 5-second mark and we'll be unpausing in 3, 2, 1, go. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And after that usual countdown and sync up for all those audio listeners, although they're not that many as the statistics show. Still, we have to do that. We have to give some love to low bandwidth friends or to the friends that just prefer the old method of viewing the shoutcasts. We go right into the game. We see in Insovietrussia the Wehrmacht player fast building his Wehrmacht quarters. Of course, indication that he will be getting out of an MG or a bike first, rather than a full squad. On the other hand, the US player is a bit behind on building his barracks. I'm not sure what happened there. Probably he built it with his second engineer for some reason. The barracks is located to the east portion of the US player's base, which of course means that he will be favoring that southeast portion of the map rather than the northwest. So, after these opening shenanigans, let's go into the first units out of by each player. As I said before, the fast building of the Wehrmacht quarters indicates an MG or a bike first, and in this case it is an MG42 that is actually backcapping the strategic sector outside of the Wehrmacht player's base, thereby giving his pioneers a bit of a start ahead, capping the rest portion of the map and not, having to deal with a strategic sector that actually gives you no resources at all. First unit out by the American player is a rifleman squad that make their way towards the center of the map. We'll be meeting up with some pioneers and of course the MG42 that is nearby, and those riflemen are most probably going to be suppressed rather soon and will be having to retreat. And that's exactly what happened. Second unit out by the Wehrmacht player is a bike or a motorcycle, and of course that will give the MG42 not only increased scouting because of his sight range, but also will be able to block some riflemen, grab them out of cover, and all that good stuff that make a bike MG combo that is properly microed rather powerful early on for the Wehrmacht player. On the other hand, the American engineers continue capping the west portion of the map, prioritizing of course that westmost medium fuel point, and then going for the high munition point to the west of the map, and one more minor engagement between riflemen, the Volks, the MG42 and the motorcycle, results once again in riflemen being suppressed. Is there a flank coming? No, there is not. Those two rifleman squads seem to be moving out of the range of, out of the sight of the MG42 behind the hedges, and of course will be actually moving towards the west portion of the map, which is actually a very good move by the American player, seeing that he cannot attack that central to east portion of the map, going for some other harassment, capping, and all that good stuff. We are currently, of course, at the 3 minutes 16, 17, 18 second mark, and once again the riflemen being suppressed in the center of the map while trying to cap the strategic sector, and the second squad of riflemen having to face some folks and the bike just prefer the safety of the hedges and moving more to the west. Now harassment to the east by the American player with his third rifleman squad and his second engineer squad, while the Wehrmacht player keeps on building up his defenses and microing his units around. He has laid down some wire by the strategic sector to the north of the US player's base. That will actually give him, I'm not sure, well, we'll cut off the flanking possibility for some riflemen, although it's not that much of a deal at that particular area. Anyway, we have flame pioneers taking on some riflemen that took cover inside that building, and of course, as we all know, units in buildings takes increased damage from the flame, so the American player has no choice but to get out of the building, but instead of retreating or engaging in combat that would be much kind of futile. He moves to the north portion of the map, harassing the medium fuel point of the Wehrmacht player, which is actually a very safe thing to do and a very good thing to do. Now the units of the field for the Wehrmacht player are two MG42s, one Volks and one motorcycle, and his first two Pioneers, while the American player has of course the full-fledged start with 4 rifleman squads and 2 engineers. Let's see the upgrades on the engineers, if there are any. No, it does not seem to be the case. Both engineers are vanilla engineers, just trying to harass the resource points of the Wehrmacht player and nothing more. Not taking part in any combat shenanigans for the time being. Rifleman squad hanging out by the hedges near the center of the map, probably setting up for some flank in case the opportunity arises, but for the time being will be trying to help their brethren engineers in the north that were fighting some folks and had to retreat under that heavy fire of the Wehrmacht Car 98s. Are there Car 98s the Volks weapons? I hope they are, otherwise I don't care. Riflemen in the east portion of the map taking on some MG42 and some nearby motorcycle. Of course, the motorcycle blocks the rifleman's path, so the MG42 has time to set up and take on those riflemen. Retreat once again. Let's go back into the American player's base, see what tech he's going to be going for, and that's of course an indication that he's building a supply yard, which means that he won't be getting any rifleman upgrades anytime soon. He will most probably be favoring a fast armored vehicle or a fast tank in favor instead actually of some heavy infantry play. No Triascender 2, which of course means that his riflemen will not be able to stay on the field that much as they would most probably like, given the fact that they will be leaving their base as time goes by with almost half health. The Wehrmacht player has set up his position rather nicely. However, the American player tried to harass him in that side of his base. Did not happen. Some other squad of riflemen trying to take a peek into the Wehrmacht player's base. I'm not exactly what happened there. Both have to retreat. Now the Wehrmacht player solidifies his position in the center of the map. His MG42s are all powerful. He's even building a bunker. Of course, that bunker, if I were to take a guess, will most probably be a med bunker. But back into the American player's base, we have a motor pool that has gone up and an M3 half-track coming out of it. So that's rather weird. You usually see an AT gun or an M8 coming out of the motor pool, but in this case, no, that is not the case. Flank in the makings, actually in effect right now. Two squads of riflemen and a squad of engineers with flamers taking on the MG42, while a squad of engineers actually died in their attempt to approach that central position. The second squad of engineers dies as well to the focused fire of the two false squad and the MG42 and the flamers in the building. So heavy loss for the American player right there. So losing both his engineer squads of course means that he will not be able to build anything unless he replenishes one of them. He also lost the upgrade that he had on one of them, a 50 munition flamethrower upgrade, so that's not good news for him at all. The M3 half-track, however, is on the field. He's getting upgraded with the quad 50s, so that's gonna be quite good against the rather unvetted Wehrmacht infantry at the moment. And taking indication back into the Wehrmacht player's base is a Krieg barracks. Is a Krieg barracks that I think kind of came a bit late. I don't know, maybe the Wehrmacht player was focusing on the fights around the map or on map control. He did not pay attention that much to his teching. You usually see that tier 2 in case, you know, the Wehrmacht player wants to go tier 2 rather sooner. But in any case, he actually gets that now, so he will have a pack out or some grenadiers out that he will be equipping with some Panzerschreck, so that M3 half-track will be of not that threatening as it is right now. A fast, of course, went off against that M3 half-track, but its health was enough to sustain the hit. However, as I said before, both the US engineers have gone down. and that half track will not be able to be repaired anytime soon. MG42's in the building, and the med bunker is already up. The medics are picking up the bodies, the bodies of the folks that went down in the previous engagement. And of course, that's one more thing that the American player has to keep an eye on, trying to take on the Wehrmacht player's medics or even the bunker itself, and not let that bunker give birth to lots of grenadiers squads for no cost at all. Once again, the two folks move towards this portion of the map, taking on those riflemen. And this time the riflemen will have it a little bit easier against those folks, provided that M3 half-track backs them up. However, a pack gun is out for the Wehrmacht player, is making a move towards that particular area in the map, towards this. Of course, that seems to be the center of the action for these last moments of the game. So once again, let's see how this is going to turn out. The pack actually is facing to the south. Even the building is blocking his sight towards the M3 half-track. The American player seems to be preparing for kind of a flank. He even has an M8 on the field right now, getting both the upgrades on the M8. He has not wasted any munitions, except for those 50 on the flamer squads, on any grenades or anything like that. So he does have those munitions to spend. He even has that plus 16 munition point to the west portion of the map for the entirety of the game, so that's actually helping him a lot. Now the M3 half-track of course went down to the pack, and the M8 tries to flank the pack, gets behind the front of the Wehrmacht forces, tries to take on the MG42s. Some riflemen attacking from the north did not exactly seem to be doing that much. Grenadiers are already out for the Wehrmacht player. Riflemen taking cover into the Guden barn there. Won't be able to do much, and will be having to retreat rather shortly. One more squads of riflemen attacking from the south gets suppressed. However, the M8 managed to kill the MG42 that was in the house. So that's a win for the American player. And not a major win, but surely something that he will take with no regret. Then we have artillery coming down on the position of the pack, and the nearby infantry squads of the Wehrmacht there actually managing to decrew and destroy the pack and kill some grenadiers, force some others to reposition, get out of the building, although it may be said at this moment that those grenadiers got out of the building so that they could fire on the M8 with their Panzerschreck rather than trying to avoid the artillery. In any case, Wehrmacht player seems to be focusing on tier 2 infantry play at the moment. He even gets his Kampfkraft center up, so that will most probably mean he's going to be getting some veterancy on his infantry. That is quite a bit of a force at this moment. 2 Folks, 2 Grenadiers, and more to come should that med bunker not go down, or should the medics of the med bunker not getting focused fire. Now the bar upgrade has come into play for the American player, and of course that is kind of late, but will give him the extra punch against the Wehrmacht infantry, unless of course the veterans starts to kick in for them, at which point things may start to get rather nasty for the American player. Of course, his indication of company, as we saw, was infantry. That means that he will not be having that much of a way with for dealing with the Wehrmacht players' infantry, other than the artillery barrages, which are pretty good, to be honest. Grenadiers in danger of going down to the west portion of the map, actually going down. Indeed, the M8 trying to flank the position of the MG42 and the pack. That pack was actually poorly microed, so at